Okay, students, I'll take it a little bit down. Suspend ready. Okay, more and more processes comes to ready state. So capacity of the RAM is not enough. If the capacity of the RAM is not enough, the processes, some processes are moved to secondary memory. This is in secondary memory. That means hard disk, secondary memory. So some processes are moved to secondary memory because of the lack space in RAM. Okay, that is called suspend. Even we can call it as, yeah, it's better to say suspend. And whenever the processes are running, that means ready queue, the processes are available in ready queue are going to running state. So the space of the RAM, that means if there's enough space in RAM, so suspend ready states again goes to ready. That is called a resume, or even we can say admit. So this is another state where a process can reside while executing. Okay, again I'll explain it, students. So processes are coming to ready state, and if there's more processes in ready state, sometimes the space of the RAM is not enough, then processes move to the suspend ready. That means hard disk. Just a minute, students. Okay, sorry, students. Right, I received a call, important call. That's why. Okay, processes. Many processes can wait in ready queue. So if the space is not enough in the RAM, so some processes may move to the hard disk. That means secondary memory. Actually, we call it as virtual memory. Okay, it moved to virtual memory or the secondary memory. So it is called suspend. Whenever the space in RAM is available, or if there's enough space in RAM, so the suspend ready processes move on to the ready state again. Suspend ready, the processes are in suspend ready state, it moved to the ready state, that is called resume or the admit. Even in this point, same thing may happen. That means here ready is in RAM, this ready state, it is in RAM, and blocked waiting state, it is also in RAM. Blocked waiting state, it is also in RAM. Okay, whenever more processes, for example, most of the processes are, we think, IO bound processes, then all the IO bound processes comes to here, blocked waiting state. So if there's no enough space in RAM, these processes moved on to another state, that is called suspend blocked state. That is called suspend blocked state. Suspend blocked state. The reason is many processes need IO event request, so it comes to blocked waiting state. So this blocked waiting state also in RAM. So the capacity of the RAM It is limited. So if there's a lack of that means storage capacity, then these processes are in blocked or the waiting state, move on to the suspend blocked state. We call it as suspend. I'll take it little bit down, students. Suspend blocked. A process move from block to suspend block because of suspend. And whenever space is available, we'll think the most of the processes complete its IO event. IO event occurs or IO event complete, then it goes to ready state. So here space is available. So suspend blocked processes again comes to blocked state. The processes are in suspend block again comes to blocked or the waiting state. It is called resume or admit. Resume, or even we can say admit. Right here there are that means there's a difference between suspend ready and suspend blocked. Here a process in ready queue move to the suspend ready, that means hard disk, secondary storage. Okay, secondary storage. And here at once this suspend ready can't go to the running state. A process in suspend ready can't enter to running space. So suspend ready has to go to the ready state. Thereafter only it can go to running state. And here the processes are blocked. Processes are waiting because they need IO event request. They need IO event. So if IO event occurs, it goes to ready state. So more and more processes comes to blocked or waiting state. The capacity of the RAM is limited. So therefore, those processes are moved to the suspend block. Even suspend block states, it can have the IO events. That means it can complete the IO event request. In this state, how a process can complete its IO event, then it can goes to ready state. In this place also, a process can complete its IO event. Here suspend block means we can't say it can't complete its IO event. It is not compulsory to go to this place. If a suspend block process go to this place, actually it is easy to go to running, because after IO event complete, it goes to ready, then it can goes to running state. But if a suspend blocked process, if it completes its IO event, it can't go to the blocked or the waiting state again. Blocked waiting means it is waiting for IO event. So here it's completed IO event. Okay, suspend blocked state, complete its IO event, then again it can't go to the blocked or waiting state. Then it has to go to this state, suspend ready state. Okay, this happens whenever IO event occur or IO event complete. Completion of the IO event, suspend blocked process move to the suspend ready, then it has to move on to the ready state. Thereafter only it can move on to the running state. Hope it's clear, students, right? Okay, so a ready process in ready queue can move to the suspend ready, that is called suspend. And a process in suspend ready can move to the ready state, that is called resume or the admit. A process in blocked or the waiting state can move to the suspend blocked. It is called as suspend. A process in suspend blocked can move on to the blocked state or can move on to the suspend ready state. if IO event is not occurs and here the space is available, it resumes back to the blocked state. If IO event occurs, it goes to the suspend ready state, then resume back to the ready state, then it goes to the running state. That's how process states are working, or processes are going through these states. Is it clear? Or if you have any confusion in these two states, please let me know, students. These five, okay, I have already explained. You are okay with that. Do you have a clear idea about these two states? Suspend blocked and suspend ready. Students, is there any confusions? Please let me know.
No, sir.
Clear? Right. Okay. I'll explain this one once again because sometimes you may have a confusion here. Okay. If most of the processes are IO bound, those processes come to IO request, come to have the IO event. Okay, IO event request, that means it comes, those processes come to blocked or the waiting state. Okay, many processes are in blocked waiting state, that means it's in RAM. So if the space is not enough, those processes move to suspend blocked. Even here and here, both a process in here and here can complete its IO event. That's possible. But here it's not possible. Here ready, a process in ready queue at once can move on to the running state. A process in suspend ready at once, that means that process, that particular process can't go to the running state. It has to come to ready state and thereafter only it can goes to running state. But here in blocked and suspend blocked, even here and here, it can complete its IO event. If a process complete its IO event from here, then it goes to ready state. That means IO event occurs, it goes to ready state. If a process in suspend blocked, IO event occurs, it goes to suspend ready. It can't go to blocked or the waiting state. Blocked or the waiting state means still waiting for the IO event. But here, IO event completed, then can't go to here. Okay, then it goes to IO event occur, that means suspend ready and move on to ready and go to the running state. But processes are in blocked state and processes are in suspend block state. Here, most of the processes complete its IO event and it goes to ready state. So here space is available. If the space is available, suspend ready, suspend blocked state, a process comes to blocked state. Because here also still it is not completed its IO event, so it can goes to this state. That means resume back to this state. And after completion of the IO event, it goes to ready state. That's the thing, students. Here, that means in suspend block and suspend ready. Right. Quickly, that means complete this diagram. That means earlier you drew these 5 state. Just attach, that means draw these 2 states additionally. And thereafter we'll go for some questions related to this 7-state process diagram. This is called as 7-state process diagram, right? Hope, right, you can see complete 7-state process diagram here. Quickly complete it, students. If you have any doubts, questions or confusions, please let me know. This is the heart of process management. So from this we can have a big knowledge. We have to discuss preemptive scheduling, non-preemptive scheduling, and scheduling algorithms, and long-term scheduler, mid-term scheduler, those kind of things we have to discuss using this diagram. Okay, right. If you understood this properly, easily we can discuss those concepts. Quickly complete this. After completion, please raise your hand, students. created or new state. This is first state, created or new state. Write down there. A program which is going to be picked up, a program which is going to be picked up from secondary memory to main memory. A program which is going to be picked up from secondary memory to main memory by the operating system is called a new process. Is the reading okay, or do you want to type it? Students, shall I read or type it?
Okay, sir. Read,
Sorry,
sir.
read, okay.
Read.
A program which is going to be picked up from secondary memory to main memory. So by the operating system is called as a new process. Okay, there is a new process. In this state, a process waits for its admission. A process waits for its admission to the ready state. Its admission to the ready state. Okay, that's enough, students. So whenever a process is program, it starts its execution. We call it as a new process. In this state, a process wait for admission to the ready state. Okay, that's enough. So second heading, ready state. Second heading, ready state. So what's happening in the ready state, students? Can you explain? Whenever a process in new state, it admits to ready state. In ready state, what happens? Yeah, students, it has to wait until CPU assigned to it. Okay, right, we'll write 2 or 3 points. Right, whenever a process is created, first point, whenever a process is created, it directly enters to primary memory. It directly enters to primary memory is called ready state. It directly enters into primary memory is called ready state. Okay, right, it's called ready state. So a process in ready state, a process in ready state has to wait until it is assigned to the CPU. A process in ready state has to wait until it is assigned to the CPU. That's enough, students. That is ready state. Okay, a process in new state comes to the primary memory, that means ready state. Actually, it has to wait until it is assigned to the CPU. There may be many processes. I didn't give everything. That means important point, that's good enough. Many processes may be wait in ready queue, right? Okay, Then third one, running state. Running state. Actually, we call this one as execution state. It's better to put a slash and execution state, because in that point, the process is in active state. Okay, in a ready queue, it is wait to assign for the CPU. But here it is not waiting, it is executing in running state. Okay, right. Even we call it as execution state. Right. One of the process from the ready state, right, first point, one of the processes from ready state will be assigned to the CPU. One of the processes from the ready state will be assigned to the CPU for its execution. Will be assigned to the CPU for its execution by the operating system. For its execution by the operating system. Second point, a process which is accessing the CPU, a process which is accessing the CPU is in running state. A process which is accessing the CPU is in running state. A process which is accessing the CPU is in running state. May I know the states? A running process can goes to 3 states, students. What are those states? A running process can move on to 3 states. Terminated, right? Good.
Blocked.
Blocked state.
Wait.
Okay, blocked
Ready
or
state.
waiting state, right?
Ready state.
Yeah, ready state. Those are the 3 states running process can move. If that means execution completed, it goes to terminated state. If that particular process need IO event, it goes to blocked or the waiting state. If the time quantum is finished, it goes to ready state, right? It's better to write down those 3 things. Put a point, next point. When a running state, when a process in running state, when a process in running state, another point, that means under that point, another point. Okay, when a process is in running state, under that point, another point. If it completes its execution, if it completes its execution, if it completes its execution, move to terminated state. Move to terminated state. That is one thing. If a process complete its execution, it can move to terminated state. Move to terminated state, right? Under when a process is in running state, one point I have given. The second point under that main point, if the process needs IO event, if the process needs IO event, it is moved to if the process needs IO event, it is moved to waiting / blocked state. Waiting, blocked, both are same. Most probably, sorry. Sorry, students. Most probably we call it as blocked state. Sometimes in some books they have mentioned waiting state. Okay. It is moved to waiting / blocked state. Under that main point, third one, if the process exceeds the time quantum, if the process exceeds the time quantum, it is moved to the ready state. If the process exceeds its time quantum, it is moved to the ready state. Okay, students. So a process can move on. That means a process running on the CPU or a process in running state can move to these three states. I'm asking a question. If a process move to one of these three states, that means it may be blocked, it may be terminated, it may be ready state. That means what happens to the CPU? So process is running on the CPU. It may move on to one of these three states. So if that particular process move to move to blocked, terminated, or the ready state, what has happened to the CPU?
The next process comes.
Yeah, next process comes. That means next process assigned to the CPU for its execution. Just write down that point, students. Right. Next point. If a running process moved from the CPU, if a running process moved from the CPU, another process in ready queue, if a running process moved from CPU, another process in ready queue assigned to the CPU, assigned to the CPU, that's enough. Okay, another process in ready queue assigned to the CPU for its execution. It's better, yeah, for its execution. Write down like that. Right, that is about running state. Okay, running state. Then we'll discuss that blocked or the waiting state. Put the heading as waiting / blocked state. Waiting / blocked state. Write down there. First point. If a running process need to perform, input output event, if a running process need to perform input output event, it is moved to the block / waiting state. It is moved to the blocked / waiting state.
Sir, can you repeat the point?
Okay, if a running process need to perform input output event, if a running process need to perform input output event, it is moved to the waiting / blocked state. Okay,
Yes, sir.
right. Whenever a process move to this blocked or waiting state, what has happened? It has to wait until that means IO resource became available, and if the IO complete, it goes to the ready state again. Yes, we'll write it. Another point. A process in blocked state, a process in blocked state whenever completes its IO event. A process in blocked state whenever completes its IO event move to the ready state. Move to the ready state. And there's another option, but I didn't explain it here because suspend blocked state is there. So we'll write that point in suspend blocked under suspend block point. Okay, no need to write it here. So if IO event occurs or IO resource became available, if it is complete, it goes to ready state, right? That's enough. Fifth one, terminated state. Terminated state. Those are the main 5 states a process can reside while its execution. Okay, fifth one, terminated state. Right, already we have, that means I have given what are the ways a process can terminate. I think I have given 7 ways. A user can terminate, and normal termination, and parent can kill a process, and if resource is not available, it can terminate likewise. You have to remember those things. That here we'll write like this. If a process completes its execution, if a process completes its execution, it is moved to terminated state. It is moved to terminated state. So whenever, don't write, whenever a process move to terminated state, students, all the data and instructions in the memory will be deleted because some other processes are already running, some other new processes are created. So if a process move to any process move on to the terminated state, the data and instructions in the memory will be deleted. Yes, second point, as second point, if a process terminated, if a process move to terminated state, if a process move to terminated state, all the data and instructions deleted, all the data and instructions deleted by the main memory. Deleted by the main memory. So whenever a process goes to terminated state, the data and instructions related to that particular process deleted by the main memory. Right, that's enough. Terminated state. Then sixth one, suspend ready state. Suspend ready state. Okay, write down there first point. If the main memory is too loaded, if the main memory is too loaded, process in the ready state process in the ready state may move on to the secondary memory. Process in the ready state may move on to the secondary memory. It is called as suspend ready state. It is called as suspend ready state. Second point, if a suspend ready, don't write. If a suspend ready state, a process in suspend ready state, whenever the enough space is available in main memory, it resumes back to the ready state again. Okay, write down it. If enough space available in main memory, if enough space available in main memory, a process in suspend ready